Georgia is recognized for 3 minutes.
Speaker, I thank the gentleman for yielding. I rise today in opposition to this rule, and it's the latest example of a long line of broken campaign promises made by this Democratic majority to conduct the most open, fair, and inclusive Congress in history. However, the Democratic majority has taken this opportunity yet again shut out and alienate nearly half of the American population from the democratic process. But I not only rise today in opposition to the rule, but the underlying legislation as well. I do so because this massive expansion of an entitlement program is an irresponsible way to spend American taxpayers' hard-earned money. Mr. Speaker, the legislation we will be debating on the floor of the House today increases this government-run health care program far past its original intent to help low-income families purchase health care coverage for their children. The reality is this bill does not protect the most vulnerable amongst our children and citizens. Rather, it diverts these precious resources from those who most need it in order to cover adults and already privately insured children. In fact, the extra $35 billion the Democrats are asking American families to pay for is aimed at a population, Mr. Speaker, where 77% of the children already have private health insurance coverage. These children would simply be transferred from private insurance coverage to a taxpayer-funded, government-controlled health care entitlement program. So I wholeheartedly support the concept for the continuation of the SCHIP program because as a physician for nearly 30 years, I acutely understand how quality health care is critical for our American children. And that's why I am a proud original co-sponsor of H.R. 3584, the SCHIP Extension Act. Mr. Speaker, this legislation looks to extend the current SCHIP program for 18 months, and it focuses the program and its funds on those individuals who really need it, low-income, uninsured American children. I'm also a co-sponsor of the Barton-Deal alternative to this 140% massive 5-year Democratic expansion. Barton-Deal increases funding by 35%, and this is sufficient to cover the poor children who have fallen through the cracks. It's estimated to be 750,000 to 1 million kids. That covers it, Mr. Speaker. So I again want to say that I am adamantly opposed to this legislation, not because I don't support this legislation irresponsibly spends American tax dollars, and I believe Congress can and should do a better job because I believe the American taxpayers deserve better. And I urge all of my colleagues, vote no on this rule and the underlying legislation, and with that, I yield back my time.
Gentlemen.